first and foremost, giving all praises, honor, and glory be to the Heavenly Father and His Son, Yahawah, Sham, Yahawashi, Sham, Rakakwadash. Those are the true names of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Yahawah is the Father's name, that means He is, He exists. Yahawashi is the Son's name, that means He saves, He delivers. And Rakakwadash is how you say Holy Spirit and the Lashawan Kodash. Lashawan Kodash, once again, is the holy language, the holy tongue. Alright, Raka meaning spirit, Kodash meaning holy. Alright, so that's a spirit that's holy. And then Lashawan equaling tongue or language. And then Kodash, once again, holy. So holy language, holy tongue. Alright. Second of all, double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone, who true well and teach well and sincerely taught us His truth. And shalom to the Lord's hopeful elect. It's your brother Yahawah, Kazak, back with hopefully another edifying lesson through the spirit, power, and strength of Yahawah, Sham, Yahawashi, Sham, Kakadash. Alright, as always, man. You know, if you don't believe in those names, you know what I'm saying, you need to research, you need to learn, you need to grow, and you need to stop believing the lie that the YT man had told you. Okay, he is indeed Esau, Edom, okay, and he runs this world right now. It's been given to him, Job 9 and 24. You know what I'm saying? And he's coming forth with much confusion, much dust, which he pushes out, he vibrates out. Alright, that's all he knows how to do is wickedness, right? Now this lesson is going to be entitled Unappreciated Kings. Okay? And that's what the remnant is. You know, that's what the elect is. Okay, the men. You know what I'm saying? 144,000 men. So that's they're the unappreciated ones, right? They're underrated, you know, undervalued, under, meaning they're never looked at this point in time to their full capacity or value, how valuable they are. And it's not up for the world to value us. No, who makes us, you know, fine gold? Who makes us as valuable as fine gold? Yahawah. Okay, so our value is, it's not up for you to price us or to put a price on us or anything like that, or to determine our value, right? You ever think about when you work, you know, for your job, your trade, whatever it be, what you make per hour, that's your value. You know what I'm saying? Add that up, what you make per day, you know, and what you make per week, and then what you make per month or whatever, and make per year. So it's foolish to really think that that's really your value. That's how much you're worth. But that's the way that Esau pushes it out in the vibration. And then you got these ignorant, foolish women out here. They like, you only make, you know, 50,000 a year or whatever. And I like, that's your true value. That's not your true value. You're worth more than that. You're worth more than this weak ass petrodollar could ever value. You know what I'm saying? So we know our true worth is based upon this wisdom, this understanding, this knowledge. If Yahawah Shem Yahawashi is dealing with us or not. Alright? Let's get a pre. Because like I stated earlier, Yahawah is gonna bring our value up. He's gonna let the world know. Okay? A second. This is Isaiah 13 and 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold. Something's precious, something is valued. Okay? We're going to be precious. We're going to be valued. No longer underappreciated. No longer looked at as bums on the corner or whatever. The world, you know, and the world is insane. The world is foolish. The world has no understanding. You got individuals, okay, they're not in their right mind. They don't really know what's going on at this point in time. Okay? So their judgment system, their status, whatever they want to put on us, it's not validated. It's not what's the word, man? It's really not fugazi, man. Okay? It doesn't stand. Alright? Damn, there's a wreck up here. You shut the whole street down. I gotta turn around. But it's not valued. Because the earth is right now ruled by a wicked government. So the standard that everything is based off of is based off of wickedness. Okay? Right now, man, it's like, how wicked can you be? Okay? Can you betray your friends? Can you sell out your people? Can you do this and do that for money, fame, and all of this? You know, how wicked can you be to align with my system? And then Esau will lift you up. Right? So we're not waiting on him to lift us up or to live by that. We gonna what? The just shall live by faith. So going back to this. I, meaning Yahawah, by Sham Yahawashi, will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Look what Yahawah did to Yahawashi. He lifted him up and he gave him that glory which he possessed before. He brought him back to that estate. We're trying to get back to that estate, that valuable estate, that estate where we're appreciated, where you ain't got to argue with your woman. You know, it ain't no going back and forth. Ain't none of that taking place. It's your word goes, your word is law. You are the Lord of that house. You know what I'm saying? And majority, you ain't getting that. Okay? In this sinful flesh, you're not getting that. You're not getting the proper obedience that you're supposed to get from your household. Because we're what? We're unappreciated. You know? So you're looked at by your woman, a foolish woman, you know what I'm saying? You're looked at, and women in the truth. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Let a demon get up on her. You know what I'm saying? So you're looked at by your woman at times like, what is he talking about? Boom, boom, boom. Alright? And that's never going to be the case in the kingdom. You're never going to have to go back and forth on any type of issue. Right? Verse 13, therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of Yahawah of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. In that day, those men that are made more precious than fine gold will be definitely appreciated and valued. Okay? And you want to be what? You want to be appreciated and valued because you're realizing the Most High is coming down on this place. So for you women, or whoever it may be, you're going to be like, man, you know, hey, what these brothers were saying is right. They're appreciated in the eyes of Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi. So the eyes of the world no longer, it doesn't matter. Because that right there is not going to save you. Soon, man. If you can't see it right now, all right, it's going to hit you like a ton of bricks. Soon, everything that America stood for is going to, it's over, man. You're going to be like, damn, why was I ever on that? But Jake can't realize that they can't see it right now, man. It's a part of us inside, like, man, let these niggas die. You know what I'm saying? To be honest about it. Damn, you want to be on that wicked shit? You want to be on that train? You deserve it. Because how many times have we said it? How many times have the scriptures stated it? Have we revealed it and brought it out and let it be known? So it's enjoy the unappreciative, the being unappreciated. Let's go to Ecclesiastes. Because part of being unappreciated is vexation, where everything is vexing us, whereas you know what you're saying is valuable and what you're saying is worth far more than money, far more than these little TED Talks or whatever that these podcasters are bringing out, right? But it's rejected. because it's not meant for the masses. It's meant for a quality group of individuals. It's not meant for quantity. Okay, this is Ecclesiastes 1:14. I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. Okay, so everything that's going on around in this place is vanity, is vexation of spirit. Okay, from these stupid TikTok dances, from these Coachellas, and all this type of stuff that y'all worship, man. Right? Let me see. Wait. That right there. I'm reading the Bible. Okay? So just listen. You know what I'm saying? The Bible is what needs to be valued and lifted up and appreciated, because the word is Yahawashi, and Yahawashi is who the world really calls Jesus. Right? So what we're saying is this truth, which is in the scriptures, is the currency that you need to be abiding by. Right? Keeping it going, verse 15. That which is crooked cannot be made straight, and that which is wanting cannot be numbered. So all these people that don't want to listen, they don't want to get right, you're given that opportunity, you can't be made straight. You're crooked. You can't be put on the right path. You know? So continue to be the way you are. And that's just what it is, because that's how the Most High set it up for you. That's your lot. Right, it take 10 seconds, man. You know? Your spirit gonna click, you're gonna listen, or you guys, okay, well, be that. You know, let that be. But ultimately, we got the truth. And we don't got to do nothing in the sense of proving it to you, because the prophecies are going to prove it to you at the end of the day. So, we let that be. Let the prophecy speak. We let Yahawah and Yahawashi speak. We say that the Most High is going to visit this earth. He's going to visit this earth. That's going to come. Now, in that day of his visitation, you want to make sure you're on the right side. If you didn't believe what we were saying, then you're going to be on the wrong side and you're going to die. That's it. There ain't no way around it. So, that which is crooked cannot be made straight. That which is wanting cannot be numbered. If you crooked, if you unclean, then stay that way. Verse 16. I communed with mine own heart, with my mind, saying, Lo, I am come to great estate, and have gotten more wisdom than all they that have been before me in Jerusalem. Yea, my heart have great experience of wisdom and knowledge. Right? We've been what? We've been lifted up. We've learned so much, but we're still unappreciated. Right? We still are unappreciated. 17. And I gave my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. I perceive that this also is vexation of spirit. You can know all of this stuff, read all these books, right? And then it's still gonna perplex you. It's still gonna vex you. It's still gonna hit you, because you still gotta be in the world. You still gotta go to work. You still gotta be around. It's like the more you know that these people is talking, and it doesn't have nothing to do with anything. You know? Hey, what about, hey man, you see that black girl that got hung by, they saying her husband did it, but hey, I'm for interracial marriage, and like what? Like that right there, like, I ain't a Jake getting with an Edomite man, no. But you gotta sit here and listen to these little talking points, and you just gotta nod your head. Oh, okay, yeah, hey, a sad story, tragic. You really can't express yourself the full way. So your opinion, because your opinion is an unappreciated opinion, you can't give people the truth. In a workspace position and all of that. So you got to deal with the vexation that comes with being around the world, with being in the workplace, right? You got to deal with it. High and by. That's it. You know what I'm saying? You get to the point you ain't even trying to input your 2 cents. Your 2 cents is not appreciated. You know? And that's vexation. Verse 18. For in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. Right? You try to tell your people, man, it's like 100%. I drink Lakewood, right? 100%. You know what I'm saying? You get some 100% cranberry, get some 100% pomegranate, right? It's bitter, right? And you try to tell your people, hey, it's gonna be bitter, it's gonna hit, but over time, because over time it's gonna get better because you got to change your taste buds from artificial sugar. People are accustomed to fake shit, artificial. So fake sugar, they're accustomed to it. So you want to give them some real sugar, it's going to be bitter, it's going to be hard to them. Now going back to Ezekiel, the 2nd chapter, they're not ready to eat that whole loaf. You know, same thing was said in Revelations. Okay, they're not ready to eat that whole loaf. They want the sweet things, the artificial, the fake. Right? But they don't want the bitter. Now what does bitter do to your body? It cleanses you out. So the bitter parts we have to get, man. And it's bitter being unappreciated. It's bitter knowing that, hey, you know the truth, but nobody is trying to listen, nobody's trying to hear you, and etc., etc. Nah, you just gotta suffer, and you just gotta go through that vexation of spirit. Right? Let's go back to Isaiah. And then when I get my destination, let's go back to Isaiah 30. Let's hit that. Woe, starting at the top. Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahawah, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. The more you become intermingled with the devil, the more you listen to his doctrine, the more you get drunk off of his wine, right, his philosophies, then the more you was tipsy, now you 100% pitch black drunk, man. And you what? When you get pitch black, what happens? You get possessed. So our people are possessed with that wine. You're possessed with a philosophy. That's why we break it down to you. However we break it down, bro, we break it down, you know, top to bottom, 360, in and out. But you're so much possessed, you're so drunk that in your mindset, it's just, hey, be rebellious. That's it. So it doesn't matter. You know, we trying to, what do you do to get, you know, you got a hangover. What do you want to drink? Water. You want to drink some water. So we trying to give you that living water. Yeah. Hey, you got alcohol poisoning. That's what these people got, man. They're too far gone. And most die from that. Right? You overindulged. That's why it's a thing that's too far gone. That's why you can't put, you know, old vessels, well, old wine in new bottles. Okay? Or new wine in old bottles. You know what I'm saying? They're too far gone. It's been too much. You got corrupted too much. You rarely see, I've never seen it. A Muslim turn into this. Man, you don't see that. He's too far corrupted and tainted with Islam. You know? Or homosexuality. You know what I'm saying? A mo. You know, he's too corrupted. He's too tainted. Right? You don't see those type of things. And honestly, we know, it's Yahawah's will. He ain't gonna let you go that far off. When you in the world, he ain't gonna let that shit happen to you. He's still protecting you when you're in the world. Before he brings you into this truth, because he has predestinated you to come into this. Right? So he ain't gonna let you do all that, these type of activities. You know what I'm saying? And hey, the Wadi Yahawashi Yahawashi Kakadash, man. You gotta for that. And he protected you in your darkness, right? And he brought you to this light. So when you was covering with a covering that wasn't of him, let's read it one more time. Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahawah, that take counsel, but not of me. All right? You want to cover with somebody else. If you cover with somebody else, then you're listening to their philosophies, their doctrines, their ways. You're aligning with them. That's their image. You know what I'm saying? If you taking the image of the beast, you doing what he do, then you're gonna take the mark, because you're already aligned with his ways and his situations. You know what I'm saying? All right. Look at these individuals. All right, individual in here, you making jokes in the comment. You know what I'm saying? You just marked yourself for death, buddy. Believe that. Mocking and scoffing. You understand? When this is a life or death situation that we talking about. We talking about 200 million missiles raining down on America, and you can't do shit about that. You understand? So, with that being said, take that, eat that up, and fear. Live in fear, man. But a fool ain't gonna take it. That's why we just get you up out of here. You know what I'm saying? It's probably a bot. You know, Amalek runs all these bots on the internet. They got bot factories producing like 100 million bots, and they just send them out to go and mess with brothers' videos. You know. So going back to it, but not of my spirit. You're covering a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. So you're living in iniquity when you're covering with another covering, when you're under a different philosophy. That's why you gotta have 100% truth. You gotta have the unction to know all things. You gotta be in the correct doctrine. You can't say you got a piece of it and you do this and you do that, but you keep the Sabbath on Saturday, 365. Well, you're not in the right doctrine. You know? It's crazy. Individuals are doing. You say you're not Hebrew Israelites, you're American Israelites, but y'all got Hebrew names. It's just like common sense don't add up. That's how we know in the world they didn't have common sense. In the world they didn't have common sense. They was idiots. So you don't change. You're the same. You just jumping from wine to wine. You club hopping. You went from the Christian church to I don't know church on Christ. Verse 2. That walk to go and have not asked at my mouth. If you under a spy, you under a 501c, you under these type of individuals that are paid by the government to mislead you, then you're still going down to Egypt. You're still aligning with Egypt. It's just you got a little illusion over your head, and you're telling yourself, "No, I'm wearing the purple. I'm Most High Christ blessed. I ain't calling on Jesus." That's what you tell yourself to feel good about your sin. All right? You still going down to Egypt because these dudes are paid by Pharaoh. All right? Which is the government, man. Trump. You know? Go back further to the banking families that'll push everything's trickling down, man. That walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Look at Moses. When all that was going on, right? He was what? He was unappreciated. Okay? Pharaoh didn't appreciate what he was saying. He didn't take it like it was valuable. He didn't take it like it was gold. He didn't care. Because Yahawah had hardened his heart. How much more today? Yahawah hardened the Pharaoh's heart. He's hardened these Edomites. He's hardened their hearts. Alright? Well, they can see everything taking place, but they can't change it. They can't stop it. Because their heart is hardened. I'm saying? So furthermore, we just gotta endure being unappreciated, endure being impoverished, being in poverty, endure, alright, check to check, you know what I'm saying? Endure all of this. And you're gonna be appreciated one day, but who's giving us value? Yahawah is gonna make a man more precious than fine gold, not Esau. Anybody that sold out, you put your strength in Egypt. You thought in your mind, you said, man, hey, this you know, the government can lift me up. I just can't say the names. That's crazy. Okay? Let's read it one more time, man. That walked to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth. You ain't even asked Yahawah by Sham Yahawashi. You didn't pray. You didn't fast. You didn't seek his counsel. You didn't go to the prophets. That's the counsel. You didn't go seek them. You didn't go ask questions. Hey, I'm going through this. I'm going through that. You know, boom, boom, boom. It's wicked. It's even wicked to run to the hospital. You know, or to run to the pharmaceutical CVS or whatever and get some Advil and some Tylenol. When you got brothers out here doing health videos, health lessons, telling you that Advil, that Tylenol is damaging your liver, 3 or 5 years, you're gonna feel it. And then you're gonna have liver damage. You should have seeked Yahawah by Sham Yahawashi. Okay? You got women out here getting their gallbladder removed, and now their whole body fucked up. Well, the doctor said, the devil said, to take it out. And you listen, because you put your strength in Egypt. Right? So, man, you trusting in this devil, man. Any form of fashion. You gotta be discerned. You gotta use discernment. You know what I'm saying? Think, trust in Yahawah by Sham Yahawashi. It's herbs upon the earth. And it's better. The herbs is there, and right? Is to clean out and to detox. It's better to be prepared and to prepare and to do preventative maintenance upon your body than to have to do a major surgery. That major surgery comes from years of you fucking up. Years of you letting your flesh get the best of you. Years of you allowing your parasites to control your mind, to control your urges. When you should have been detoxing and cleaning and deworming. So everything that you do, man, is going to catch up with you. That's why the law is there. So you walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth. You ain't seek Yahawah by Sham Yahawashi to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. You trust in his government. You trust in all the ways of this society. That right there is aligning with the beast. You know, that's it. So how you may say out your lips you're not going to take the mark, but you're going to take it. Because you've been taking everything else the devil been giving you. So, well, you know, I go to him, but I'm not going to take that mark, though. But you took everything else that he sold you. Verse 3, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. Yahawah has given him strength at this time. He has raised up Pharaoh. He has given him a kingdom. He's raised up Rome. He's given them a kingdom. You know, these Edomites have a kingdom. He's given them strength. He's given them power. This is how they're able to come down with great wrath. And he's raised that up for it to be your shame. So that's the illusion. It's really an illusion of power, because it's all belonging to the Most High. You know? So it's an illusion of power. And Yahawah's like, hey, who's going to take the trick back? Okay? Who's going to forget about me and go down to Pharaoh? Who's going to fall for the illusion? You gotta look at the fake. You gotta know the fake from the real. But bringing it 360, going back all the way to the artificial sugar. Most people like that fake shit. And they don't like real because it's bitter. Because it don't taste as good. Realness is unappreciated. That's why we unappreciated, because we real. You know what I'm saying? Verse 3 again. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust and the shadow of Egypt your confusion. You're lost. You're in a delusion. You're left and right. You know, you can't tell you're up from down. Literally. Right? You think the earth is flat. All these doctrines that they got out here. Yeah, all this brainwash, all this type of stuff they telling you. You know? And you're believing it all. And it's shameful. Verse 4. For his princes was at Zoan, and his ambassadors came to hands. They were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them, nor be in help, nor profit, but a shame and also a reproach. This place it's full of false prophets, so how it's going to profit you? It's full of divination and witchcraft and sorcery, zodiac signs, right? How is this place going to profit you? It's not of Yahawah Shem Yahawashi. It's not of his counsel. Going back, right? It's not of his counsel, so it's not going to profit. What profits? Real. What is fake? Everything that's artificial, everything that's fake, that's not of Yahawah Shem Yahawashi. This is America. It's called the sad diet. You know, the standard American diet is called the sad diet. That's funny that it lines up like that. But it's ultra processed. Everything coming out of box. Everything coming out of plastic. The water, plastic. You're getting microplastics all up in your brain. The food, ultra processed. It's made and created in a factory. You know? So, when are you eating something living? Even the vegetables and all that, the cans, the fruits coming out of a can. That ain't how we lived back in the day. We ate stuff that was fresh and we were stronger. So everything is unappreciated at this point in time. The vegetables, real vegetables, because everybody doing GMOs. You see how everything is unappreciated? The animals. They cloning animals. They don't appreciate real animals anymore. They're making fake meat. So Esau does not appreciate anything that the Most High created. With you being at the top, you so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American. You know? It's a trickle down of hate. Right? He has a perpetual hate towards our people and our power. And that ain't never gonna stop until we destroy his ass. I'm about to park. Give me like 5 minutes, man, so I can really get into this. Verse 6. The burden of the beast of the south, and to the land of trouble and anguish, from whence come the young and old lion, the viper, and fiery flying serpent. They will carry their riches upon the shoulders of young asses, and their treasures on the bunches of camels to the people that shall not profit them. We built up all these lands. We built up America, we built up Rome, we built up Spain, we built up Africa, we built up all these lands. And we're not appreciated for it. But we built up all this stuff. See how that is? There was 7 presidents before George Washington. Moors, that's Israelites. So we established and helped them make the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, all of those type of things, those documents. We taught them government, you know, how to do all of that. right? But we're not appreciated for it. That's not taught in school, that it was 7 Israelite presidents before George Washington. You just taught that George Washington was the first president. You're not taught about how the Moors, it's actually a Moor in the picture of those people signing the Declaration of Independence. Okay? Even the way that the Washington D.C. is built, yeah, it's on some satanic shit. It's like a star, but that's that's Jake, all right, and wickedness, building in wickedness. That's Jake. You know what I'm saying? So Jake rarely gets credit for their endeavors. Let's see. They ain't got no parking spots out here. Not the park right here. Yeah, we straight. Alright, man. And this is verse 7. For the Egyptians shall help in vain and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this. Their strength is to sit still. They help you in vain. They give you the wick, the snap, EBT, all of that. That right there deteriorates your mindset. It makes you think that you don't have to work. It makes you think you don't have to provide for yourself. And it makes you, you're dependent upon government aid. You know what I'm saying? That's where your mindset is. You forgot Jake lazy these days. You don't know how to get up and do nothing. Or Esau come through and give you drugs. Come through and give you guns and drugs and tell you to push this and use this. Rob this, steal this. Right? Where a hard day's work, that's unappreciated. Going back. So the way that the Most High set up is unappreciated. Okay? You tell somebody, it's like, what you do? Oh, I got a job. 9 to 5. You got a job? Next. Bitch, I got a job. I get paid every 2 weeks. I got a job. That's not attractive, like, because you're not appreciated. Hard work is not appreciated. You got to be scamming, you got to be I don't know, you got to be doing something extraordinary. When these bitches ain't extraordinary, what the fuck do you do? I work at Wendy's. What? You work at Wendy's? You know what I'm saying? But hey, once again, we're unappreciated. And let it be. Let it be. It's cool. Okay? So don't look for appreciation and don't look for love from a place that can't love you. Because the place that it hates realness, it's going to hate you. I mean, it hates realness. Yeah, it's going to hate. That's it. It's going to hate you. Let's go to Jeremiah. Let's go to John 17, man, and begin to wrap it up. It's John 17 and 7. Now they have known that all things whatsoever thou hast given me are of thee. We believe and we know everything that Yahawashi was given is of Yahawah. Right? He allowed it to be. Okay? Hey, shalom to my brother Yakal, man. I ain't seen you in a minute. Yahawashi Yahawashi Barak. Okay. Now they have known that all things whatsoever thou hast given me are of thee. We know and we believe. Yahawashi came in Yahweh's name. He came, he spake, he preached the correct and proper message. Right? He did what the Father told him to do. Okay? He was obedient and he was lifted up to a point of glory. He came as a slave. A slave is unappreciated. So he was unappreciated. Right? His own people couldn't recognize, they didn't appreciate him. You know, that's just what it was. That's how it was supposed to be. So Yahawashi was unappreciated. We supposed to be unappreciated. We're some unappreciated kings, some unappreciated priests. Verse 8, for I have given unto them the words which thou gavest me, and they have received them, and have known surely that I came out from thee, and they have believed that thou didst send me. We have been given the ways and the words that Yahawah gave Yahawashi. He gave them to us. Right? Domino effect. It's continuing. It's an ongoing cycle. Okay? So it's beautiful to be considered a part of that. To be called a friend. Right? John 15 chapter. You know? So who are we appreciated by? Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi. And that's all that matters. That's it. Right? So once again, don't look for appreciation from a world that can't appreciate you. I pray for them. I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine. We don't pray for the world. We don't appreciate the world. You know? And meaning the wickedness of this world. But we appreciate everything that Yahawah created. The trees, the birds, the animals, the oceans. Stuff is beautiful. Right? The sky. You know when the sun be dipping, be setting, and you get that, it's called the golden hour. It's beautiful, man. You know what I'm saying? The horizon. It's appreciated. We appreciate it, but we just can't enjoy it because this devil doesn't appreciate any of it, so he tries to destroy it all. Right? But we appreciate everything Yahawah, and even the chastisement, allowing this devil to be over us. Do you know? Nobody would really say that, except us. Is we appreciate the punishment. Okay? We appreciate the punishment, man. You allow the bases of men, a base man, to rise up above us and to be over us, for us to understand and to go through it, and to feel it. And we appreciate the punishment. If you don't appreciate your punishment, then you didn't really learn nothing in that moment of your disobedience. Do you know why you was put in the corner in the first place? This is what your parents used to say, man, reflect. All right? I'm beating your ass, and now you need to sit there and reflect on why I had to put my hands on you. That's something you would say to a person after you get in a fight. That's why I had to knock you out. I told you. I gave you many chances. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta appreciate the correction. So we appreciate this ass whooping that Yahawah's giving us, man. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate being unappreciated. Appreciate being unappreciated. That's it. Okay? I pray for them. I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me. For they are thine, and all mine are thine, and thine are mine, and I am glorified in them. Yahawah, Yahawashi are glorified in us. We glorify them. By them lifting us up, then the world knows that they are real, and they are powerful, and they are true. So once again, that domino effect. Right? It's because we're what? We're coming from the vine, which is Yahawashi, that's coming from the husbandman, which is Yahawah. So this garden is coming forth and spreading. Now in a garden you got much weeds, you got undesirables, you got all these type of things that need to get pulled up so the garden can flow, and that's why stuff has to be sifted out. Weeds don't appreciate your arugula. Weeds don't appreciate the tomatoes. Right? You got stuff in the garden that's why it got to be pulled out. So the world in a whole has to be pulled up, destroyed, right? As a society, as a kingdom, so that the righteous plants, the righteous seeds can sprout and grow with much space. and their vines can spread forth, and they can plant more seeds. So the earth is our great reset. The proper great reset is a righteous great reset. You know, with the wicked under and in servitude and slavery, the ones that didn't appreciate the truth, because they never appreciated realness. They never cared about being real. They gave you nothing but artificial beliefs, artificial food, GMO, everything. Okay? Verse 11, and now I am no more in the world, but these are in the world, and I come to thee, Holy Father. Keep through thine own name those whom thou hast given me, that they may be one as we are. Keep them in the name of Yahawah. Why Yahawashi? Alright? We are kept in those names, man. We are kept, and we are safe in the clutches of Yahawah Yahawashi, because we're precious to him. You know, precious is the death of the saints. Precious, we're precious as fine gold, right? He's making us precious. Something that's precious, right? What I got in here, man? My keys, right? Your key. You keep your key in your hand because it's precious. You keep it in your pocket. You know, you make sure you know where your key at all times. You're not gonna forget about your key. You need your key to start your car. It's precious to you. So this is how we are to Yahawah Yahawashi. So whenever you think you're not appreciated or whatever, you know, depression, the world hitting you, lose a job, all this stuff, remember that you like this with Yahawah Yahawashi. Okay? He's keeping you, and he's with you, and he cares about you. You're precious to him. You're doing your part, and you're precious. Now, what happens if this key don't start working? It stopped working, right? It started BSing. I hit the lock button, it don't lock, right? I hit the panic button, it don't panic. You know, it's just not working. What I gotta do? This key tripping. It's going off. I get rid of this key. Boom. You know, give me a new key. Okay? So, simply, the key could what? Fast, pray, make sure the battery is changed, you know, recharge, charge back up, videos, lessons, studying, fasting. You know, these are ways to stay efficient. As a seed, you're growing, you want to grow efficiently. So you got to make sure you're in a proper environment to grow up efficiently, right? Just like a key, I got to change this battery, you know, while we on it right now, really, because it ain't been locking properly. You know what I'm saying? So it's got to be efficient. So as a disciple, you want to make sure you're efficient, right? So you'll be utmost appreciated by Yahawah Yahawashi. It's a good thing for when the Lord comes back, the Master comes back, and he sees his servant doing, right? He wants to see you doing. He wants to see you doing, and not just doing, but doing efficiently and properly. This goes back to also the wise and foolish virgins, because they didn't trim their wick. Their lamps was not efficient. They was caught up in distractions. They was using too much oil over here and over there, so they wasn't efficient enough. So they couldn't shine the way to the marriage ceremony, you know, because they didn't burn properly and efficiently. So you got to check, you know, how your wick is burning. All right. Getting a little bit more, man. We'll wrap it up. All right. Verse 12. While I was with them in the world, I kept them in thy name. Those that thou gavest me, I have kept, and none of them is lost, but the son of perdition, that the scripture might be fulfilled. So, none of the elect is lost. You know, we pray that we are of that number. Yahawah Tazah, we are of the elect. You know what I'm saying? And all we can do is hope and pray and fast and make our calling to the election sure. Commit our ways so that our thoughts, you know, he'll deal with us. That's Proverbs 16:3. You know what I'm saying? So you just want to stay in the right mindset and make sure that you're efficiently working in the body. All right? You're pumping blood out the right way, the proper way. You're Because if you, as like, go back to the body, the lungs, you're pushing out air, or the liver, you're taking in liquids, and you're pushing out nutrients to other parts of the body. So as the liver taking in those nutrients and pushing it out, let's say you're sending nutrients to the heart, you're sending nutrients to the skin, isn't the skin gonna appreciate what you just did for it? So being in the body, being an organ of the body, when you help the body appreciates that. And everything working together, we appreciate the help. So we appreciate watching videos, getting uplifted, getting exhorted. We appreciate the efficientness that comes with the brotherhood, man. You know what I'm saying? So don't ever look at your work as it's unappreciated. It's unappreciated by the world because they ain't supposed to get it. But by the brotherhood, by the sheep, oh, they eating it. They love it. That's what it is. Don't matter if you got 1 sheep, 2 sheep, or 200 sheep. They got to eat. Somebody got to eat. So feed. Feed. It's important to be and feed efficiently. Don't give them no fake food. Give them some good food. Give them some top shelf. You know what I'm saying? So hey, man, I'm coming to the end of this, right? It's okay to be unappreciated. Appreciate being unappreciated, okay? Because our time is coming to be lifted up and to be rewarded with true appreciation, all right? And that comes from Yahawah, Sham, Yahawashi. It ain't about your woman appreciating you, or your kids, or your work, or your job, or brothers, or whatever. Right? Yahawah, Sham, Yahawashi will make everything happen how it's supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's all coming when it's supposed to come. You know what I'm saying? So hey, that being said, hey, shalom to my brother Kakma, Yahawashi, Yahawashi, Barak. Giving all praises, honor, and glory be to the Heavenly Father and His Son, Yahawah, Sham, Yahawashi, Sham, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone. As always, shalom to the Lord's hopeful elect. All right, Yasha Allah, and abide with all. Shalom, shalom.